randomly into different breakout rooms. Okay, so we may not have the time to talk to each other during the semester, but so some of us may even don't know each other. So I want to put you into different breakout rooms. If you don't know each other, okay, try to talk to them and get familiar with each other. So if you do know your group members, okay, try to think about your experience of teaching speaking online, or like the difficulties do you have when you're teaching speaking, okay? So how to do?
I think we're back
in the main room now.
Yes. I joined some of your breakout room just now. Some of you were communicating or talking to each other. Great. Okay, so it turns out you have the very high level of willingness to communicate, and you are very confident about your second language or your first language. The reason why I'm doing this activity is because at the first week of this semester, I did exactly the same thing in my lesson. Well, you know that the first week of this semester is we're teaching online. And I think, okay, students don't know each other. They haven't met each other before. So I may put them into the smaller groups in the breakout rooms, and they can, well, talk to each other. And two groups together, two classes, nearly all the breakout room were very silent, so quiet. And one student typed in Chinese in the chat box, says, when does the teacher gonna realize that putting us into the breakout rooms is completely a waste of time? And I saw it, and that moment just made me think, why sometimes students like talking to each other and sometimes they don't? Okay, this is one of the reasons I'm doing the research about this area. Another reason is I'm going to teach PSE this summer. Is online. So I really don't want this to happen again. So hopefully I can get some solutions before that. Okay. And when you're talking just now, okay, about the difficulty you have when you doing the speaking activities online, can you share some ideas in the chat box, please? I'm gonna check the chat box. Sorry. Yeah. Can you share some more ideas in the chat box? Oh, yes, I can see it now. Yeah, being shy. Yeah, absolutely, especially for Chinese students being shy. They won't talk, type so slowly. Yeah, roommate sleep. Refuse to speak in a public space. Prefer to use WeChat. Pauses between speaking. Pauses between speaking. It means students or me. Classmates talk too much. That's really there in the classroom. Yeah, sometimes just name was there, but they're not really there in the classroom. Yes. Lack of accountability, technical or listeners. Turn to the mic, and you know they are doing something else. Yes. I remember one student told me before the first semester, we have the online and on-site together, right? One student said, oh, I have 2 online EAP lessons per week, and I wash my clothes twice per week. And I was thinking, what does that mean? I said, that means I'm washing my clothes in the EAP lessons. So sometimes they just really not interested in the class itself as well. Okay, thank you very much. I think I could close this one. Okay, let's remember all these difficulties, okay? So hopefully by the end of this presentation, we can have a basic idea about why students won't talk, or we can come up with some solutions together to solve some of the difficulties, okay? This is my contents today. I'm going to talk about what is WTC, willingness to communicate, and the factors that are going to influence learners' WTC. And also, we're going to do some evaluation of different interventions. Do you want to record this session? Yes, that's okay. Thank you. Okay, so what is WTC? Okay, WTC was first used to discuss the likelihood of native speaker using their L1 in the communication. And well, there's some research about when they are going to enter the communication or not using their L1. However, the problem of an apparent lack of WTC has been reported by a lot of researchers working with language learners. So that's why nowadays WTC being referred to the second language learner, okay, their willingness to communicate, not the first one now. And in 1991, okay, Microsky mentioned that they think WTC can be viewed like more about related to people's personality. Okay, maybe like one of us, Glenn, I think it's Glenn mentioned about people being shy. Okay, if they're shy, the personality, so they are less likely to communicate with others. And 7 years later, and they found out that maybe not only about their personality, okay, their level of WTC can be different according to different contexts or different situations. Okay. And so in 1998, the same year, okay, in McIntyre, they conducted research. They defined WTC as a readiness to enter into a discourse at a particular time with a particular person or persons using a L2. Okay, this version of definition is what we are using right now. Most of the researchers who are doing this, who are conduct research in this area, often cited the definition. Okay, so hopefully, okay, we have a really basic idea or understanding about what WTC is. Now I'm going to give you a task. Let's think about what are the factors that are gonna influence student WTC. Okay, take your time. Okay, think about what based on your experience before, or think about what factors you think gonna influence their WTC. And I'm gonna put a Padlet link, okay, in the chat box. Please share your ideas in the Padlet together with us. How can I? Oh, it's here. Okay, I've already shared the link in the Padlet. Sorry, in the chat box. Language skills, life experience, their perceived ability in L2, yes. Be interested and interested. How expected or unexpected the question is. Yeah, how long they have to prepare for the answer, yeah, the preparing time. Online, whether they are multitasking. Yes, ideas about topic, yes. Are they familiar with the topic or not? Okay, how long do they need to prepare for the answer? And their perceived ability in the L2. how welcoming the atmosphere is. Yes, agree. Possibility of losing face. Yes, I like that idea. What expected of them? Lack of schematic knowledge. Okay, 1 more minute, guys. That's amazing, your ideas. Confidence in their own L2 speaking skills, afraid of being seen by peers. Peers as being showing off, yeah, their own interest in the topic. Some students are not even clear about what to talk about or clear about the instructions. Yes, absolutely. Task type. Is their lecturer, teacher, yeah. Self-confidence. Whether they want to share their opinion. Yes, thank you guys. Thank you for all of your amazing ideas. I agree with all of your ideas. Actually, some of your ideas that mentioned about the factors we are going to talk about now. Okay, let's go back to the main room. Okay, this is what I can see from the. You can see my screen now, I think. Yeah. Yeah, I can see there's a model. Okay, this model was developed by McIntyre in 1998. The model you're seeing right now, is actually my adapted version. Okay, we have 6 layers in total. It's like a pyramid. It's a pyramid. We have different factors in each layers. So the whole model is what they said. The model shows the range of potential influence on WTC in L2. The range of potential influence. For example, I can see in the layer 6, personality. Okay, so personality, of course, we mentioned earlier. This is one really important factor gonna influence the student's level of WTC. Actually, here, okay, this top point. This point L2 use, which means the students are really actually communicating with other people. They are talking. So in other words, in order to help students to reach to that specific point, okay, the other building blocks, okay, all of these building blocks as potential influences to decide whether they can achieve to the top point or not. Okay, so from the top to the bottom, we begin our discussion with the most immediate situation-based context. Move to like this personality, their stable or enduring influences on the L2 communication situations. So I just use some words. Okay, maybe you not really familiar with. I'm gonna explain now. Based on McIntyre's explanation, they divide into this model into 2 parts. Okay, layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, and 4, 5, 6. Okay, the first part, L2Us, their readiness to communicate, or their desire to communicate, or their state communicative self-confidence. These 3 layers represent the situation-specific influences on WTC. What does this mean? It means in our lesson, okay, students' level of WTC is actually gonna change from every single moment, okay, based on different contexts, based on different situations, just like what you mentioned in the Padlet. Okay, the how much time they have to prepare for this topic, or how familiar they are with this topic. So these are the top 3 layers. Okay, so based on different situations, based on different contexts. Whereas layer 4 and 5 and 6, okay, this represent more stable, enduring influences on WTC. Okay. For example, we mentioned about their personality, and we mentioned about earlier about their intergroup, their relationship, about how welcome is a group in this atmosphere, right? And also self-confidence. So these two, I'm not going to go into each building blocks one by one. We talk about personality. Okay, we may experience this before. At the very beginning of the semester or the course, one student come to say, teacher, I'm a really shy person. I'm really shy person. I want to by taking your course, I like to change my personality, or I want to talk to more students. About this, they mentioned about changing their personality. So, do we really want to change students' personality? Or can we really change student personality in a single language lesson? Maybe not, maybe not. So what I'm talking about is the layer 4, 5, 6. As for us, the language teachers, it's not that easy to change in a single language lesson. Whereas in top 1, 2, 3, for us, we can create more space for ourselves or for students to change their level of WTC. So today we're gonna only focus on layer 1, 2, 3, okay? So this is here. So top point, okay, L2, as I just mentioned, this is where students are actually communicating, okay? They're actually talking to someone. Well, when our job is just actually to help students to reach to that point, okay? Reach to this point, okay? L2, they use their language actually to speaking to someone. And here, why do they want to speak? Because they are ready to communicate. They have the readiness to communicate to other people, okay? And sometimes we're thinking, okay, in our lesson, before students are really ready, say we ask a student a question, okay? This question is really, really easy enough that we're pretty sure everyone knows the answer. But still, okay, still no one answers our questions. You're thinking, okay, they have the answers, they know how to say it, but they have the readiness, but why do they not say anything in the class? Which brings us to the more deeper level, or the underlying level. Based on McIntyre, we have two more factors gonna influence their WTC. He mentioned about the motivation and their self-confidence. Okay, actually the desire, okay, desire to communicate with a specific person, or are they confident enough to talk to other people? So for their motivation, he actually put 2 points here. One is their affiliation, okay, another one is control. What does this mean? Affiliation means sometimes students, they want to please someone, okay, let's say they want to please the specific person in their group, so they talk a lot, or they want to please their teacher, so they answer teacher's question, okay? And sometimes they not like want to please anyone. It's more about the how teacher control in this activity. Like we can play some games, and the student think, okay, I want that score, I want to win, so they can show more strong desire to communicate. Like another example you can think is the seminar panel interview. Okay, they talk together. They never actually met each other before, but they had really strong desire to communicate. Why? Because they want higher score. Right? They want higher score. And the self-confidence, yes, this here means self-confidence about the specific area or about the specific context. Say student use English to buy train tickets in the train station. Okay, because they have done that before. They know that in that specific context, what they need to say in order to buy a ticket successfully. So let's see. Here we got students' motivation. Okay, they have desire to talk to someone, and also they have the self-confidence to talk to someone. Okay, but are they really talking to someone in our classes? Maybe not, okay, maybe not. So here, some of you may, why they have the confidence and they have the motivation, but they're still not talking to someone. We're gonna come to that later, okay? So some of you may notice that in this model, actually the layer 3, this layer, and layer 4, it look quite similar because they all talk about the motivation, okay? Layer 4, the interpersonal motivation, intergroup motivation, and they also talk about their self-confidence, their L2 self-confidence. So here we are talking about the difference between these two layers. Is the layer 3 is, again, is about specific context, okay? In that situation, in that context, students have strong desire to talk to someone. Whereas layer 4 is general, okay? In general, their relationship between each other or between groups, their motivation. So layer 3 is about specific context. Layer 4 is more general. And the same for the self-confidence. So do they have self-confidence for that specific context, like buying tickets using the L2, or is general, okay? Are they just general have very confident person or not? How confident they are about their L2? Okay, so now let's go back to that question asked earlier. Students have all the motivation, and students have the self-confidence, and students know the answer, okay, they are ready to talk, but can they really achieve that point or not? Well, in theory, yes, but let's think about our students. Most of them are Chinese students, right? So Wen and Clement in 2010 conducted research. They mentioned that, okay, so this model, market intelligence model, actually main focus on the Western world, okay, main focus on Western world. So in Chinese context, a number of the other factors, apart from the reasons that McIntyre mentioned here, apart from these reasons, there are some other factors, okay, gonna influence their readiness and their motivation, their desire to communicate. So they mentioned about this is for specific Chinese context. They mentioned about the face protection. Okay, face protection. I think some teacher mentioned that in the Padlet, right? How can I check? Sorry, I'm gonna check the. How can I check the chat box? I think I lost the chat box. Oh, I found it here. Oh. Sorry guys, I'm just really not familiar with this. Yes, some of them mentioned about the losing face, their face protection. Sorry. Their face protection. So they think that Chinese students, their unwillingness to communicate in public is not a language phenomenon that is specific to learning English language. It's more related to or rooted in Chinese philosophy and culture. Okay, so they mentioned that in the research, Chinese care very much about the evaluation of significant others, about other people. Okay, so given in a specific task or in a specific situation, the other people always come to students' mind. Okay. Oh, thank you, Dara. Thanks. Yeah, another skill for me. Yeah, the other people always come to their mind. So they will think, what will others think if I do this? Or what will others evaluate it if I do this? Or how will others respond? So our students sometimes are really more, in Chinese students, I mean, more sensitive to the judgment of the public on their language behaviors, and therefore less likely to get involved in the classroom communication. So this is the first factor I think that are gonna influence in the Chinese context. The second one is a submissive way of learning. Okay, so students, they have the submission to the authority, especially for Chinese students. I think all of you have already experienced this before. This is our education system. We think that the teacher, they are authority, okay? If student in the teacher-centered classroom, like the teacher talk a lot, still say, okay, I learned a lot from this class. But if Chinese student in the student center, there is that kind of context or environment, they think, okay, I didn't learn a lot because I need to do most of the speaking, not the teacher. So this is another factor gonna influence their WTC. Okay. Would you say something? Overlapping. Yes, they're overlapping because they are they sometimes the same thing, but it refers to different context. For different context. Okay, we can talk about that later. Yes, Samantha, thank you. Okay, and then so after we have the really basic idea about the different factors influence your WTC, I prepare some possible interventions. Okay, first one is we can do it as a warmer. I heard some teacher mention that it's online. Okay, if students didn't turn on their camera, they feel that it's not that close, right? Especially their course is completely online. Okay, completely online. So talking about the meaningful photos, this activity is what I did. Yeah, it's what I did in the on-site lesson. Okay, I think it's quite useful and quite worked a lot. Works very well. So I'm gonna try this in this online lesson this summer. Another one is games. Okay, and the timeout role play. I don't know if I have time to demo all of this. Let's just see. Okay, let's see. I want to give more time to for the feedback part because this is the first time I'm doing this. Still, I'm really new. I learned this just before you guys a little bit. So yeah, I think I get some very useful feedback from the chat box. Okay, so how was your holiday? This one, this activity actually I mentioned before. I done this in on-site class. Sometimes, for example, in the Monday, okay, I walk into the classroom. I like to ask them, okay, how was your holiday? How you feel today? And you ready for the lesson like this? And some students, they just, okay, my holiday was quite boring. And I said, okay, so what did you do? I said, I just stay at the dormitory for the 2 days and watch some movies and that. And for that student, he or she thinks that the weekend's boring. And other students also, they really, they don't care that much, this is boring. And then thinking, okay, like we mentioned before, one of the factor is affiliation. And I want to make a connection between their holiday and their class. So I'm thinking if you can actually see something, okay, in the class, try to create the closeness, a sense of closeness in the class. Maybe that will be better. So I asked them to post the photos, okay, 1 or 2 photos about their holiday. Okay, so one student posted this one, the first one. There's a bowl of instant noodles. And then the same thing happened. Well, I asked them one more time, okay, how was your holiday? Say, it's pretty boring. I just stay at home and stay dormitory. I watch some movies, studying, and yeah, that's it. And then students said, oh, you just ate instant noodles. You didn't even order the takeout food or something like this. So actually they can say something. They related to their real life. So related to their real life in their holiday, not in a class. Students, they are talking to each other. So this is one of the example. I think we're trying to create more space, create the affiliation, like people can really feel the physically nearby, even though they're online. Okay, I can see your photo on holiday, like I can see you guys. And also here they have the one photos about Eiffel Tower. Of course, we know that they are not going to. It's impossible for them to go to Eiffel Tower in their weekend. But why the student post a photo like this? Okay, so why? The other students they were also very curious. So this is create a space for their communication. Yeah, I think this is useful for on-site. I think I'm gonna try for the online lesson. Varies from person. Yes, definitely vary from person to person and context to context. Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to this one. Okay. So this is a game. I think this game, Who is the Undercover? Okay. I think this game is very popular in China. Well, they obviously have a Chinese version. I just try to adapt it and use the English version online. This game is actually a vocabulary game. Okay, so it works like this. I think we have time to do a little demo here. Okay, teachers will hand out, okay, a slip of paper with a pre-written word to every student in the same group. So same group, the group like 4 or 5 students together. And then students, their own words, okay, the pre-written words are hidden from each other, okay, from each other. So one student, and also one student's word is different from the rest. And students need to describe their words in the team, okay? So by describing the words, students need to find out, okay, which student who has a different word from the other students, okay? So, and I draw a little instruction here. 4 students, A, B, C, D, okay? So they sit together. And one is student A have the word book, student B have the book, student C have the word book, and the student D have the word notebook. It's just an example, I'm thinking I can do with some more academic style, but the instruction is the same, okay? And those together, they trying to describe the word, okay? And then find out who is undercover, who has a different word here. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward, I think. I think we need 4. I don't think yeah, but still, it's since 1998, but still a lot of people doing this research still using it. Okay, so can I ask 4 teachers who volunteer to have a try this game? Okay, I'll send you privately 4 different words. And you can try to describe your words and find out who is undercover. Okay, I'll send you. Okay, thank you. I'll send you. Both of us. Samantha. Where's Samantha? Okay, I sent Samantha your word and Zhumu 8. Okay. Sent Zhumu 8. We still need 2 more volunteers. Okay, Wenzhou. Okay, send you 1 more. Okay, Norman. Okay, yes, for volunteer, you need to have your turn on your mics. Yes, so you're supposed to describe your words. Okay, I just privately send everyone, the 4 teachers, send you a word, and you're supposed to describe it and try to not get other teachers find out you are the different one. Okay, only you have the different word here. Only one have different words here. The other 3 teachers, they have the same words. Okay, so yes, a little bit. Yeah, I think a little bit. Yeah, you can't say the words. Just describing. Yes, just describe it. Yes. Okay, so if you can, just feel free to turn on your mic and describe the word one by one, and then you can find out, or we can find out who has different words.
Okay, shall I go first?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, great. So mine is a part of an essay. it tends to come near the beginning of the essay. It contains the writer's position and may also indicate some of the structure of the essay. And it's something that's quite challenging for learners to get right sometimes. It's often found near the end of the introductory paragraph.
I agree. I think I've found a kindred spirit.
Yeah, mine. My words, my phrase is very similar. Everything that Norman has just said there, I would second. It's also quite challenging for students, and it can include their stance within the sentence. And it's important for structuring the paragraphs of an essay.
I'm not really sure who's different, actually.
Yeah, that's the purpose. And you need to describe more and find out.
Sonny, what do we do when we think we know who the person with a different sentence is?
You just say it.
At any time?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there's 4 people.
Yes, 4. And I think Wenjo hasn't said.
Okay, then she must be the one.
Don't have microphone. Okay.
Well, then again.
Oh, I think no, it's Wenjo, definitely, because Wenjo's got the word topic sentence, I'm willing to bet.
No, that's Stephanie.
Okay, I think Norman is the odd one out. I think Norman has got thesis statement and everyone else has got sentence.
Oh.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah, that's when Norman mentioned that the first place is really detailed, right? And Norman gave really detailed description.
So did Norman make the game difficult for himself by being too detailed?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, sorry about that. I was supposed to keep it kind of vague, was I?
No, I don't think he made it more difficult. I think it just made it a little bit confusing because you tend to assume certain things. I probably wasn't listening particularly carefully because there's not that much of a difference between a topic sentence and a thesis statement. It's just
it's quite similar. That's why we're trying to make them into together, like the book and notebook. Yeah. 5 minutes. Oh, sorry.
So that's why it sounded really similar to mine.
Yes. It's really similar. That's the purpose. That's the purpose of the student need to really think of any way to communicate with others, not to being caught. We have only 5 more minutes. Yeah, sorry. I just quickly doing some of this. Role play, I haven't really decided how to do role play because I need to find out the specific material I'm using for the PSE, and then I can design. But I'm thinking that doing a role play, the student's gonna think, okay, this is it's not real me. So even for the shy student, this is just my theory based on this research. It's not real me, so it's maybe going to help them, okay, to try to say something. But again, I'm not really, I have read a lot of papers about role play going to improve students' WTC, but I think it's based on it's also based on the materials. Yeah, it's, sorry, I haven't really decided how to do with this. And I think I don't have time to go through every comment. Do you have questions here, guys? Okay, questions that I can, maybe those are just feedback that can help me.
I'm not particularly clear what the different layers, how they relate, and does any particular layer come, first, or, I mean, the fact that it's in a pyramid, I'm kind of confused by that. So yeah, there's a lot of factors here. I think what the McIntyre they are thinking is from the top points, okay, students actually really talk about something, okay, they're really communicating. And it's number 6, okay, layer 6 is for us, okay, for us, we're really difficult. It's really difficult for teachers to change their intergroup climate or change their personalities. So what we can do is to create more space in the top layer, in different contexts, different situations for them.
to communicate, not like their attitudes, like their motivation. No, we cannot do that in a single language lesson. That's what my understanding. Like they not form such a. How much time do you usually have such activities? No, not every lesson. Probably talk about their weekend is every Monday. Yeah, but not every single lesson. They will get bored, huh?
Yeah, because I've been looking at this for my students quite a lot, Sunny, like using more English where appropriate in the classroom. And it seems like I think these activities are really good, but I worry that if they can't be done consistently on a regular basis and also if not enough time can be spent on them in the classroom, is it possible that they don't have a big effect on the students?
Yeah,
because it's not prolonged to the extent that they actually do develop these habits of using English. That's just something I'm thinking about.
Yeah, one thing I'm thinking that I've done the Padlet for posting their photos for a lot of nearly every Monday. Nearly every Monday. So what I found they changed a little bit is their ability to tell a story. Little bit. Yeah, because before they just say, okay, I playing video games. I went to shopping mall. But now they based on the photo, they like to talking to each other about how does it happen, when and where and with who, with friend, and like that. Just not a single phrases, and then they become like a story.
Oh, that's good. That's good that they become So they're being more creative as well.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
Habit forming is very good. Yeah, good point. Good point. Thank you, everyone. I think I'm gonna save this chat box, and sorry for other. If you still have questions, you can welcome to email me. Okay, I'm sorry I don't have enough time to answer or to discuss about this question one by one. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you.